The next adoption pattern we see is by far the most popular. And what usually happens is we get folks started in IT automation type workloads like log processing or cron jobs. You're basically sprinkling a little bit of Lambda into an existing process. Nobody has to really ask for permission or go through a procurement cycle. Let's just put a little bit of Lambda in. Nobody will notice. And then they discover that's easy. And they start thinking, I wonder what else we could be using Lambda for. And so they quickly come around to thinking, well, what if we could incorporate Lambda into our event-driven architectures for data transformation? That usually takes on two different flavors, either linear or nonlinear. An example of a linear data ingestion would be where you have data coming in through Kinesis. You're doing some lightweight ETL with Lambda. It goes off to a data store like S3 or Dynamo, and then on to another Lambda operation, then to an end user. Kinesis to end user, that's a linear data transformation that's completely event-driven. So in other words, when you're not ingesting data, you're not paying for a bit of that infrastructure. So if you have a workload with high seasonality, especially if it's following maybe an agricultural cycle, well, your AWS bill will follow the seasons. The other example, it'd be something like nonlinear. A nonlinear data transformation is more like a data lake, where the main centers of gravity of how you're thinking about this infrastructure revolve around data islands. And those data islands are typically defined by the data temperature. In this case, you're using Lambda to move the data from place to place to get the insights that you need, or to transform the data out and back into an end user. This architecture diagram, just so you know, doesn't look like a 3-tier web architecture anymore. In fact, it looks pretty messy. You're not thinking about the servers as an area of gravity at all, because the servers are just responding to events within the data transformation. Then the last step that we see as far as adoption of Lambda is to use Lambda as the primary compute for a microservice architecture. Now, this is usually where we get executives involved, because now we're thinking about decomposing our teams into 2 pizza teams in order to achieve agility. This is where a lot of folks have publicly said, we have a serverless first strategy moving forward. And that's organizations like T-Mobile. This offers a lot of agility back into the organization, so they're going to be able to release more code more often. Some key considerations, like I said, are the organizational changes, but also what is our long-term commitment to this architecture? And then what are the effects for driving the business forward?